We are introducing Arewa Youth Mentorship Program. The AYMP is a collection of Northern Nigeria academics and professionals from different spheres of life who volunteer to offer free mentorship and equip Northern Nigeria youth at all levels with necessary knowledge on career opportunities, scholarship grants, personality building, innovation, among others.
Thank you everyone for joining us today at the 40th session of the Arewa Youth Mentorship Program. It's a privilege indeed to welcome you all and to have you again in this session. Today's topic, digital agriculture in Nigeria, opportunities and challenges, is indeed a timely topic. It's a timely discussion, especially at this time when our economy is dwindling and our youth also are faced with the highest rate of unemployment of our time. So this is really a remarkable topic, and the purpose or the motivation of this discussion basically is to inspire people to jump into the business of digital agriculture. Last time we did some sessions on agriculture, especially the one we did on rice farming, and alhamdulillah, we got some positive feedbacks from people. Many people have tried it, including myself, actually. After that session, I was highly tried it, and I think I can tell you, the yield I got, it was highly encouraging. So this type of positive feedbacks, we have received them from many people, and I hope after this session also today on digital agriculture, we will receive similar feedbacks. So just from the beginning, the session, first of all, we will have a brief introduction about the Arewa Youth Mentorship Program from Dr. Fauzia. Then after that, we will hear some remarks from our special guest of honor, who is also now, his second domain is digital agriculture. It's not only in ICT and cybersecurity, now he's also a digital agriculture expert. And then we will hear from our esteemed speakers. So without taking much of time, Dr. Fauzia, please, could you briefly introduce the activities of the Arewa Youth Mentorship, and on behalf of the AYMP Organizing Committee, welcome our guests.
Okay, I hope Dr. Ka fitar da zarka inda ka ce you had a very good yield.
Yes,
and you need to give us something. Gaskiya. All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 40th mentorship session of Arewa Youth Mentorship Program. Like Dr. Yakub mentioned, today we'll discuss digital agriculture in Nigeria, opportunities and challenges, which is a crucial topic as technology reshapes our agricultural landscape, offering both opportunities, of course, and challenges. We are honored to have Professor Ali Pantami as our special guest, alongside distinguished panel, Dr. Aliyu Akilu Barau, Adam Idris Azare, and Ibrahim Maigari Ahmadu. And of course, Dr. Yakub will be your moderator. I would encourage everyone to engage fully, ask questions, and make the most of this insightful discussion. Sorry. If you are just joining us today, our mission is to equip Northern Nigerian youths at all levels with knowledge and skill needed to exploit opportunities globally. And I will join our social media platform as the discussion goes on, which you can, I will post the link on the chat so that you can click and join us. Thank you so much. Let's begin.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Fauzia, for this insightful remarks and introduction of AYMP. Secondly, now we will go to the remarks by our special guest of honor, Professor Ali Ibrahim Pantami. Basically, I would like to especially thank him for, actually, currently Professor Pantami is in Tunisia attending a conference He had to excuse himself to attend this session because of the importance he attached to the mentorship and anything that is related to youth development. We are highly grateful, Prof. And I think we don't have to introduce much. Professor is a renowned figure in Nigeria. He doesn't need introduction, but for just sake of completeness, Professor Ali Ibrahim is Nigeria's first Minister of Digital Economy, and he has been a driving force for key transformations in the ICT sector in Nigeria. He oversees many initiatives to fruition. He is also a university chancellor. He is a digital farmer, and he's a consultant in tech and governance sectors. So as a highly sought after speaker, Professor Pantami continues to contribute to the advancement of technology in Nigeria and beyond. So above all, Professor Pantami is a mentor who is highly passionate about the growth and development of Nigerian youth. Prof, thank you very much once again. You have the floor to make your remarks and to bless the session.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yakubu Sani Wudil. As our chief host, and also your co-chief host, other panelist members here present from academia, industry, among others, participants to this virtual engagement. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. May Allah's peace, mercy, and blessings be upon you. Permit me to begin by thanking our Creator Allah for the opportunity to converge here virtually for the 40th Arewa Youth Mentorship Program, as earlier announced, in order to discuss a very important topic, that is digital agriculture in Nigeria, opportunities and challenges. In addition, I begin by apologizing to you once again for my inability to join the platform on time due to the fact that I'm currently in Hammamat, Tunisia, as earlier announced by Dr. Yakubu Sani Wudil, attending a conference here as a special guest of honor and also keynote speaker. After the opening ceremony yesterday, we have a session today and inshallah tomorrow. So I had been requested to make other presentations. Even now, I caught up my presentation here discussing business continuity and resilience for startup ecosystem in order to join this meeting. And after this virtual engagement, I will inshallah go back to the hall to continue with our conference proceedings. Once again, Dr. Yakubu and our sister, may Allah reward you immensely for your effort in mentoring our younger ones. Mentorship is very important and is key to the success of each and every individual. I have not seen a successful person globally without having a mentor, either a formal mentor or informal mentor. Mentorship guides us to minimize our mistakes in life, to manage our risk effectively, to discover new opportunities, and at the same time to climb over their shoulder and see what we cannot see while standing on the ground. So there are so many opportunities for mentorship, and I have been very proud of this platform and what you have been doing for humanity. We pray to Allah to continue to guide you and make you very successful. And for all other experts that are being invited to come here and share their knowledge, experience, and many more with our younger ones, their effort is appreciated, and we pray to the Almighty to continue to guide them, reward them immensely, and make them very successful in whatever they do. The topic of today's discussion, even though I am just here as a special guest, initially without requesting me to speak on any topic, it is only now that I had my name being announced that I am to comment on it. And unfortunately, I am a teacher. If you ask me to talk without giving me some guidelines and time frame, maybe I will keep on talking, and at the end become another speaker while I'm not here to serve as the speaker, but only to provide maybe some backgrounds for the speakers, particularly the panelists, to discuss on it. Furthermore, the topic, as earlier announced, is digital agriculture in Nigeria, opportunities and challenges. The topic is very apt and is very relevant. One question that is important, we need to ask ourselves, what is digital agriculture? Even superficially, digital agriculture is the fourth industrial revolution agriculture that relies on emerging technologies, innovative techniques in order to enhance efficiency, productivity, save costs and time, and improve quality of our agri produce. So in defining digital agriculture, new innovative techniques is important to be recognized. Then cross-industry technologies also to be recognized. New innovative techniques, they are like soilless farming, where you can cultivate without any need for soil. What is also called hydroponics farming, or vertical farming, where you can have your farm to be in a vertical line, and even urban farming. They are all new innovative techniques. In addition, also cross-industry technologies. The deployment of cross-industry technologies is also key in digital agriculture, like artificial intelligence, which is becoming very dominant globally, Internet of Things, drones, blockchain technology, augmented and virtual reality, machine learning, when there is need for prediction and projection. These are the new cross-industry technologies that are being deployed in digital agriculture. Digital agriculture is synonymous to smart agriculture, smart farming, tech farming, tech agric, e-agric, fourth industrial revolution agric, agric 4.0. All these terms are synonymous to digital agriculture. And if you call it fourth industrial revolution farming, is okay. Agriculture 4.0 is also okay. So these are some of the terms that are being used academically in order to define what digital agriculture is all about. Digital agriculture is a product of the fourth industrial revolution. As we all know, the world witnessed the first industrial revolution in the 18th century, particularly in the United Kingdom, in Manchester and Liverpool. The second industrial revolution, largely in Europe, United Kingdom, Belgium, Germany, and France. The third industrial revolution in the UK, also in the US, in Germany, France, Belgium, and other European countries, including Asian countries like Australia and Japan. And now we are in the fourth industrial revolution, which is largely about emerging or disruptive technologies, as the case may be. So digital farming is a product of the fourth industrial revolution that we are witnessing today. When it comes to Nigeria, what is important to remind ourselves is the fact that according to the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, 70% of Nigerians depend on agriculture, particularly subsistence agriculture. Subsistence agriculture is the agriculture that is largely for consumption at home. Only insignificant percentage partakes in commercial agriculture or large-scale agriculture. In addition, according to the National Bureau of Statistics and also Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, 22.35% of our gross domestic product in Nigeria comes from agriculture. So by implication, you can say that 70% of our population, which could be approximately around 160 million Nigerians, depend on agriculture. Minimum 150 million Nigerians depend on agriculture. And secondly, if you look at our goods, services, and products being produced in the country, you can say close to 25% of that comes from agriculture. This is to show to us that there is no sector that is as important as agriculture in our country. In addition to that, humanity is being confronted with dilemma. This dilemma is the fact that population is increasing, even more than geometrically, while food production is reducing by the day. If you look at it, the entire total land mass in the whole world, land mass, not land area, land mass includes land and oceans and including seas, is approximately 149 million square kilometers. Out of this 149 million square kilometers, 71% of this land mass is dominated by water, by oceans, seas, and others. By implication, only 29% of this land mass is land area. So you will discover that by implication, you can safely say that our land area is less than 45 million square kilometers from this 149 million square kilometers. In addition, from this land mass, which is only 21, or land area, not land mass, this land area, which is only 29% of our entire land mass globally, only 33% is arable land. Only 33% is arable land. So by implication, from this 29% of our land area, you can safely say that less than 14% or less than 15% is an arable land. That is land that is good for cultivation or for farming. In addition to that, from this percentage of this land that we are talking about, arable land, which is only 1/3, it has been predicted and projected that by 2050, meaning in the next 26 years, our arable land, which is only 1/3 of our total land area, in which the total land area is only 29% of our land mass, more than 1/3 of it is going to be consumed by climate change and deforestation, among others. On one hand, the world population is increasing because according to the United Nations and other institutions like World Economic Forum, by 2050, the world population could reach around 10 billion people in the next 26 years. So the population is going to be reduced by around 1/3 of it. And even as of today, the land area is only 29% of the entire total land mass. While the demand for food from today to 2050 will increase by a minimum of 70%. So this is to show to us that the whole humanity is confronted with this dilemma. The increasing demand for food, climate change is destroying our land, population is increasing significantly, and at the same time, the demand for food is also increasing. That is why we need to think out of the box in order to see how the world can produce sufficient food for this population that is increasing globally. And this is indeed very important. Furthermore, digital agriculture comes up with a solution to this dilemma in so many areas. Digital technology brought about even this virtual engagement that we are having. Dr. Yakubu is in Dammam in Saudi Arabia. I am here from Hammamat in Tunisia. And some of us are from Europe, some from Asia, some from America, some from Nigeria. So this is one of the benefits of digital technology. We are here engaging each other. We are discussing on a very important topic to the extent that geographical location doesn't matter. No need for any visa for us to communicate. Anybody can stay from any part of the world and get connected and also contribute without being subjected to any immigration screening, visa application, visa appointment, visa and many more. So this is to show to us it is not only restricted to digital agriculture. These cross-industry technologies like AI, blockchain are into each and every sector, in education, in health, in security, in agriculture, in industry, among others. So when it comes to Nigeria, we still have many potentials in order to excel in digital agriculture. Only a few weeks ago, I was invited as a speaker in a conference to discuss about halal economy. I clearly stated that Brazil as a country, what it generates through halal economy is more than the entire gross domestic product of Nigeria as a country, including in 2023 and 2024. This is a country that is in South America, but what they generate through halal economy is more than our entire GDP, which is largely being dominated by the private sector. So this is to show to us that we must think out of the box. There are uncountable number of opportunities to address our challenge of poverty, challenge of unemployment, unemployability, either through reskilling or cross-skilling or upskilling. You can move into digital agriculture irrespective of your area of study or area of expertise, because the fourth industrial revolution gives you many opportunities to be a multidisciplinary scholar or a multidisciplinary expert that you can move into so many disciplines and also be successful. When it comes to Nigeria, if you look at our total land area is around 923,000 square kilometers. And also the largest in land mass is Niger State with around 76,000 square kilometers, then Borno with around 72, 71 square kilometers, followed by Taraba around 56 square kilometers, followed by Kaduna, then Bauchi, then Yobe, then Adamawa. So this is how it is. And interestingly, more than 69% of our land mass in Nigeria is in the northern part of the country. Now we are being confronted with the challenge of insecurity, that it becomes difficult for some areas to be utilized. In addition, traditional agriculture has so many advantages because we are all product of traditional agriculture. We learn from our forefathers. We used to go to our farms. So it has so many benefits. However, there are also challenges to traditional agriculture. Number one challenge, the issue of insecurity in some parts of our country where it becomes difficult to go outside and cultivate. In the Northeast, in the Northwest, sometimes it's difficult to move from town 10 kilometers away to go to your farm because of you are afraid of the unforeseen things that could happen, because they have been happening to so many people, being kidnapped, being assassinated, among others. In traditional agriculture, you need a very big farm. Secondly, another challenge of the traditional agriculture is the fact that traditional agriculture is also aggravating the climate change. Number three, in traditional agriculture also, it is promoting deforestation, because the more population is increasing, we are going to the forest in order to create many more farms. So you will discover that the more we expand traditional agriculture, the more we are going into deforestation, because we need to go and clear many forests before we start cultivating. And by implication, we will see we are like reversing ourselves. We are destroying trees, and we are also agitating that we need more and more trees. And while population is increasing, we must go and destroy them. And that is why you will see campaigns like that of Dr. Ibrahim from Niger State here, Brainy, promoting of 1 million trees to be implanted in Nigeria. They are agitating, moving from one state to another, which is encouraging. But if you look at the way traditional farming is, we need to go and destroy the trees, promote deforestation, and on one hand, we are promoting forestation. So these are some of the challenges of traditional agriculture, and there are economic challenges. If you look at it in Nigeria today, as I said it in so many fora, that if you can compete federal government subsidies and interventions into agriculture, and states interventions into agriculture, CVN intervention into agriculture, private sector intervention into agriculture, foreign intervention into agriculture, if you compute this all into our traditional agriculture, arguably, we are not making any significant profit. Because a farmer can say he spends 10 million in his farm, but by implication, if you accommodate federal, state, foreign intervention into agriculture, the amount could be 30 million naira, while he feels that he invested 10 million and he got 15 million. So by implication, there is no any profit. So that is why we need to think out of the box to see what we can do in order to explore new opportunities in smart agriculture or digital agriculture, so that we will be able to address these challenges of traditional agriculture, among others, particularly in northern Nigeria, where agriculture is always our priority when it comes to our own mainstay. In addition, permit me also to mention that I earlier shared with our host here, Dr. Yakubu Wudil, a book I recently authored entitled Digital Agriculture, the Panacea to Global Food Crisis. The book is in press, and I do hope by the end of this year or lately early next year, inshallah, it will be available in the market. The few things I have been saying will be found in that book when it is available. In that book, I clearly mentioned how we piloted some initiatives in Nigeria when it comes to digital agriculture. Part of it is the Nigeria Startup Act 2022. In it, there is a provision where our agri startup can benefit from federal government, where there is going to be a seed funding, there is going to be tax holiday, among others. 2, providing sponsorship for digital farmers or securing sponsorship for them. I can see one of our startups here in Agric, brother Ibrahim Maigari. In 2022, if I could recall, from 7 to 9 of February 2022, I led a team of some young Nigerian startups to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia through the sponsorship of Digital Cooperation Organization being chaired by Her Excellency D. Malihaya, where they sponsored some startups. We went for a global challenge or global competition in Riyadh under LEAP. Ibrahim Maigari, who is here with us, is one of the team members that we took from Nigeria. There were 6 global prizes globally, and 2 of them were won by Nigerians, and Ibrahim Maigari is one of the winners. And at the end of the event, he was provided with a seed funding by Saudi government of $150,000 US. So if you look at the amount today, if you look at this amount today, $150,000 that the kingdom has given to him for free. So you are talking of more than 250 million naira to support his startup. And alhamdulillah, I led that team and they won. And the other one is Wycliffe. He also won a prize of $150,000 US. And this is only in one trip. And also in 2018 in Jitex, another young Nigerian who came up with AI, artificial intelligence startup, also won another global prize. These are some of the initiatives. In addition to that, to leverage on the opportunities we have in Nigeria, beside the Nigeria Startup Act 2022, which was assented into law by the then president on the 19th of October 2022, we also established National Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics in 2020. It is the first AI center in Africa, the first in Africa. And that center is to come up with cross-industry technologies locally so that we can deploy them in our farming in Nigeria. The then national coordinator of the center, Engineer Ogarba, who was a staff of King Fahd University of Petroleum and Minerals. As an engineer there, he served for around 20 years. We brought him to Nigeria, where he happened to be the pioneer national coordinator. Under my supervision then, he led a team, technically where I supervise. They developed so many AI applications for farming, drones for farming, blockchain applications for farming, to the extent that we established a digital farm in Abuja. And this digital farm in Abuja, we implemented all these new innovative techniques, like hydroponics, vertical farming, urban farming, among others. And also, we deploy new innovative technologies like AI, IoT drones, and most of the products we use in that farm, they were developed locally in Nigeria. So it is a very important initiative. This is, in fact, to validate some of our policies and initiatives. And this has been validated by this farm for a period of a minimum 3 years through the invention of the National Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics. As we speak with all of you, we are partaking in creating more and more awareness in order to support more Nigerians into digital farming. My team was in Borno State a few months ago, where they trained the staff of Ministry of Agri and ICT on digital farming, and the training has been very successful. Also, there are many states that are interested in digital farming at the moment, like Yobe State has indicated interest, Kebbi State has also indicated their interest, the same with Niger State, among many others. This is to encourage more people to go into digital farming, because digital farming, we can do it either as a subsistence farming or commercial, but I encourage more for commercial, and commercial no for local consumption, but I emphasize more for exportation. I emphasize more because certain things that we don't produce, they are being demanded globally, and they will bring many more foreign exchange into our country, to the extent that it is better for you to produce what other nations need. You export, and you will find it even more cheaper, even if you have no time to buy rice or maize. It is even more cheaper because the price and the demand globally is very high. And sometimes we don't participate in this kind of agriculture. We only prioritize maize, rice, beans, granite. There is no harm in doing that. But we have to think out of the box in this area and partake in what the world needs rather than what we only need, because we need foreign exchange in that. For some of my listeners, I had been citing many examples with the Netherlands as a country, that these 6 northern states in Nigeria that I earlier mentioned, each and every one has a bigger land mass than the Netherlands, which is around 41,000 square kilometers. These 6 states, Niger, Borno, Taraba, Kaduna, Bauchi, Yobe, each and every one is larger than the Netherlands in the area of land mass and land area. But the Netherlands, with a population of the Netherlands, not more than that of either Kano or Lagos. But what they generated in agriculture in 2021 is 104 billion euro, not even USD, euro, which was higher than even the dollar, 104 billion euro. While America, as the largest exporter of agri-produce, exported a product of 177 billion US dollars, here dollars. While in terms of population, America is almost 40 times the population of the Netherlands. And when it comes to landmass, America is over 270 times larger than the Netherlands when it comes to landmass, but they are the second globally. What the Netherlands generates from agriculture in some years, like in 2017, was over 10 times what Nigeria generated from our darling oil and gas. This is to show to us that in Nigeria, our priority at the moment is no more about oil and gas. Our priority should be how to explore agriculture, how to partake in digital farming so that we can enhance the quality, increase productivity, efficiency, save time and cost, and at the same time, get more revenue for ourselves and for exportation so that our country will get more foreign exchange. And I think this is just in summary to put the topic in perspective. There are challenges. These challenges are inevitable. I intentionally not to comment more on the challenges because I am an optimist. I always try to be optimistic. Challenge is inevitable in whatever you do in life. But if you are optimistic, each and every challenge is an opportunity. Each and every failure is not an opposite to success, but rather it is the actual foundation for you to keep on trying until you are successful. The only environment where you can live without challenge is in paradise or the heaven. But as long as it's in this world, there are challenges, particularly in Africa. There are challenges more than any other continent. In Nigeria, there are challenges when it comes to providing the enabling environment, encouragement, mentorship, and even support. However, we should put our trust in Allah, keep on trying, be optimistic, and definitely we will be successful. I do hope that this will provide the foundation for the panelists to look into it and also discuss the topic effectively. And I thank all of them for listening, and I pray to the Almighty to bless the organizers of this event and also the panelists. Once again, thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Professor. Like Professor mentioned earlier, a teacher is always a teacher. He intended to just comment it for like 15 to 20 minutes, but you could see how he ended up giving us some robust and insightful information on the digital agriculture. Thank you very much, Professor. And like I said earlier, I mentioned this, the whole purpose of this session is to encourage people, is to inspire people. And I think this is the type of inspiration that we need. So likely we will think of how ourselves will start practicing this. Then also our participants, we expect from you to join this league. In summary, Professor has started by some kind remarks. Thank you very much for that. And he also gave an overview of the digital agriculture globally. He also highlighted some global challenges on the issue of digital agriculture, the reduction in the land area out time, the increase in population, and the rise in food demand. And he also highlighted some solutions to this. He also talked briefly about the issues with the digital, with the traditional agriculture, of course. And finally, we will say, Prof, we are eagerly waiting for the launch of your book on digital agriculture. Inshallah, we highly encourage our participants and everyone that will watch this video afterwards to get a copy of the book, especially for those of us who are interested in agriculture or digital agriculture, so to say. Thank you very much once again, Prof, on behalf of the entire AYMP crew. We really appreciate you. We appreciate your continuous support. And we also appreciate the fact that you are on other business engagement, but you are able to cut it and join us. This is a great honor. It's an immense honor to us. We highly appreciate that. And we count on your support for our future sessions, inshallah. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you. So next, we
It's
will
my pleasure.
we'll go directly to Dr. Aliyu Akilu, who will also comment, who will give his remarks on the topic. He's an academic, and after Dr. Aliyu, we will hear also from Ibrahim Maigari, who also happens to be on another engagement but has to join us today. So Dr. Aliyu, as an academic, will give the theoretical perspectives, and then Ibrahim Maigari and Adam Idris Azare, they will give a practical perspective to the issue. So Dr. Aliyu is a Nigerian academic, basically specialized in agricultural and rural development. He got his PhD in agricultural extension and rural development from Bangladesh, and he has worked extensively across sub-Saharan Africa and South Asia, and is currently a senior lecturer at the Osman Nofodi University, Sokoto. He has a very interesting and long CV, but I apologize for cutting it short. Dr. Aliyu, please, you have the floor. You can go ahead and make your remarks.
Okay, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Dr. Udil, Fauzia, and the entire AYMP crew, thank you. I can't thank you enough. Why? Because you have laid the foundation on whose floor we stand to make our own contribution towards the development of Arewa. To Prof, who is a scholar, a person whom I admire for about 2 decades ago, and whose Islamic teachings I have been following since the days of my secondary school till today, and up to when it comes to excelling in things that have to do with life here and hereafter. Fellow participants, forget the title. Let's focus on the issues that brought us here. I mean, the profile read by Dr. Odil. I'm a fellow learner like you. I had never believed that I have got enough. I am always hungry to learn. Therefore, I also see this as an opportunity to learn from others while we exchange the ideas. We have also been opportune to lay our hands or experience as opposed to others. Looking at the title of today's engagement, which is Digital Agriculture, the Opportunities and the Challenges, as rightly introduced by Dr. Widil, I will delve a little into the theoretical or conceptual perspective of digital agriculture, as well as some practical examples that I was able to experience too as a student of learning. Now, digital agriculture. Digital agriculture has been in existence and it has been on the boom for about 3 decades ago. It first began as ICT, as a component of ICT in development. And as time progresses, it's evolved because of sophistication of technologies that are infused into agriculture, and it metamorphosed into ICT in agriculture. Later on, it became digital agriculture, and today the common language, especially in advanced countries, is smart agriculture. Now, what is this smart agriculture? Or what is this smart farming? Or what is this digital agriculture? Basically, it is the infusion or integration of ICT and its tool in agriculture. When I say in agriculture, I mean across the agricultural value chain. And for any commodity or product that may be taken into consideration, when you say value chain, you are talking about from the conception of an idea up to recycling, as the case may be, or depending on the agricultural commodity or product under consideration. Many people will say that digital agriculture is here to displace the traditional agriculture as expressed by Prof. Well, It is just that in the pace of life, nothing is permanent. The only thing that is permanent is change. And part of the change is digital agriculture. So it is not here to do away with traditional farming, but rather it is here to narrow the works or the opportunities or the job or employment on the farm, but widen the scope of the opportunities of the farm. By on the farm, I mean starting from production and in some cases processing. While up the farm has to do with services like what Rice Africa offers. Now, digital agriculture employs the use from simple SMS to the use of drones and smart technologies to enhance the efficiency of agricultural production, as well as increase the income of both the farmer and those who may be within the chain, who are the value chain actors. A number of opportunities exist in digital agriculture, and I would want to narrow myself within the confines of our economy, I mean Nigeria. Now, when you want to adopt any technology as it is synonymous in agriculture, you are expected, if you want it to be sustainable, you are expected to look at analogous economies. That means similar pedestal. Most technologies need on the tree becomes difficult to out. So it is important.
I think we cannot hear you, your network. Can you unmute yourself?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, as I was saying, one of the challenges we do have as far as technology, advanced technologies are concerned, specifically digital agriculture, is that we begin to look at the sophistication of advanced countries rather than looking at countries of similar socioeconomic status. We adopt from them and try to domesticate so that it becomes easy for our people to relate with. However, looking at the Nigerian agricultural landscape, there exists a number of opportunities that people could explore. And some of these opportunities have been tried in countries like India, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, where Rice Africa also is working. That is what we call digital agri-connectors. Now, you could be a digital agriculture connector without even having a deep or background in agriculture. Not necessarily also having background in the ICTs, but having minimum digital literacy to be able to serve as the modern day, what I prefer to call modern day middleman. What you do in digital as a digital agricultural connector is that if you have studied agriculture, then you could engage in a production and take it to market through any of the digital medium you may wish to employ, say social media. If you're also not into production, you could as well be a digital agriculture connector, whereby you bring the buyer and seller together, serving as the interface between the two. this is an unexplored opportunity in Nigeria where only a few people are engaged in. And you'll be surprised to know that people from Arewa, most of the digital agricultural connectors that we have in the country come from the southern part of the country. Why?
We cannot hear you. The network is bad.
To awake up the duties of that we follow. They are also called bro. I give commands on reading problem by international education as agriculture also. Hello? Can you
It's really breaking. The network
you
is
hear
bad.
me?
It's breaking.
Can you hear me?
The network is breaking. Maybe. Yeah, I can hear you. The network is breaking. Maybe we need to move to the next speaker. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. As I was saying, you'll be surprised to know that there exists no agricultural knowledge broker in the country, not only in the country, but in the sub-Saharan Africa. Why? Because a recent report I was able to lay my hands on from the Food and Agriculture Organization, as well as International Telecommunications Union, has revealed that similarly, there exists no agri-clinic in the entire Nigeria, not only Arewa per se as a region. Also, there exists no personalized agricultural information dissemination service. What I mean by knowledge brokering is people that are engaged in providing digital services who serve as the bridge between researches done by research organizations or universities and the consumers of these researches who are digital farmers. Agri-clinics, an example of agri-clinic is farmer information and advice centers, which has been tried in countries like India, Bangladesh, and Nepal, where an area is set aside and is equipped with equipment, and part of the center are experts in various fields of agriculture, and farmers communicate to them digitally, and their problems are sorted out instantly for immediate response to address the challenge. Similarly, information provided to farmers through digital means. As I'm talking to you at present, all the information that is provided to farmers, except in a situation where you have agents like what the Rise Africa does at present in Tanzania and Nigeria and Uganda, except in such situations, farmers do not communicate directly and receive information that specifically affects their farming activities. So all these are areas that could be explored, that are untapped with numerous potentials that can be able to cover markets even outside Nigeria. Now, as far as challenges is concerned, one may wish to say that most of the farmers in Nigeria, as expressed by Sheikhana, that they operate traditional farming and they have low literacy level. I have a contrary opinion. Contrary opinion in the sense that the major challenge we are having is that most of the people that have interest in agriculture, they tend to violate the basic principles of engagement with the farmers. What are these basic principles? Is that we want to level farmers to our own, we want to bring up farmers to our own level such that they adopt what we are taking to them, rather than working with the farmers along so that we improve them and work with them to address the challenge. So I see challenge, not that of literacy, but that of digital literacy, because you will agree with me that today there are people that operate social media who have never experienced the four walls of classroom. Why? Because of digital literacy. We have an issue of limited infrastructure. Now, that has to do with, we have a challenge of limited infrastructure, rather. That has to do with when we want to begin or start big. And that could be a scare to some of our youths that may want to engage in digital agriculture. However, I guarantee you there is no business that starts and sustains itself big, but businesses start small and grow big. Therefore, if you want to engage in digital agriculture, any opportunity you may want to tap out from, please begin by starting with those opportunities that require less infrastructure. For instance, digital agriculture connector, which you don't need much capital. Most of the times what you need is contact and a mobile phone that can be able to serve as a medium of exchange. From the side of those who may be willing to patronize products from digital agriculture, there is a challenge of information asymmetry. It is common today. People that buy things from social media, most of the times, the way you see the image differs from how the product appears when it is brought before you. This also has to do with building integrity of any agriculture, digital agriculture business that an individual wants to engage upon. So this challenge needs to be taken up in order to build the integrity of the business over time. You need to take note of information asymmetry. We also have the issue of security challenge, which is inevitable. However, with modern day digital agriculture technologies, you don't need to go far. Some of the digital agriculture technologies can be employed even within your household. In addition to what Sheikh has said, there are technologies in some countries like ours that cultivate even over the roof. Mr. Ibrahim can attest to this from his experience in Uganda. There are people that cultivate on their rooftop. However, that may not be a challenge in Nigeria given the abundance of our land, but with the presence of security, especially in northern Nigeria or especially in northwestern Nigeria, where the bulk of grains consumed in the country are cultivated from, then digital agriculture offers an opportunity. But that challenge also is there.
Okay, Doctor, if you can round up in 5 minutes so that we can, if it's possible, we can go to the next speaker, please.
Okay. In essence, what I'm trying to say is that if I may sum it up, is that digital agriculture employs the use of ICT technologies and tools to enhance the efficiency and effectiveness of activities within the agricultural value chain. It offers opportunities that can be tapped regardless of the status of the country. These opportunities include digital agricultural connector, knowledge brokering, agricultural clinics in form of farm information and advisory centers, as well as personalized agricultural information dissemination system. The key challenge to any person willing to start or willing to tap out of the opportunities within digital agriculture is to first clear their mindset from the feeling that farmers are not capable enough to enjoy the benefits or the opportunities offered by digital agriculture. Therefore, the feeling that farmers need to be leveled up to the point of the technology in the present, the farmers need to be worked to be able to partake and tap out these opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Akilu, for that wonderful presentation. Without taking much of your time, I will introduce the next speaker, who is Ibrahim Maigari Ahmadu. He is a lawyer, tech entrepreneur, and a World Economic Forum uplink top innovator. He's the founder and CEO of Rice Africa Technology, a tech-driven agriculture optimization platform operating in Nigeria, Tanzania, and Rwanda. Through its Farm Easy operating system, Rice Africa improves the productivity of smallholder farmers in Africa. Ibrahim and his companies have earned multiple prestigious awards, including the World Economic Forum Circular Accelerators 2022, the LIFT 2023 Technology for Humanity Award, and the Nigeria Innovation Summit, driving growth in agriculture through technological award in 2023. He also regularly facilitates master classes on agricultural transformation at the Villas Institute in Switzerland. Beyond his entrepreneurial effort, Ibrahim served as a mentor and business coach to many African entrepreneurs. Over to you, Ibrahim.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
So the Professor Pantami, may Allah reward him abundantly for all that he's doing and has been doing and he's still doing. And Akilu Barau, doctor, they have made it much more easier for us to deliberate. But what I will just do with a few minutes that has been given to me is to contextualize what they've excellently and scholarly put across and to make it much more easier for the hundreds of participants that I've seen connected here, because we talked about, the topic is digital agric and opportunities and challenges. The professor made a very interesting, in-depth dive in. Dr. Akilu also gave his perspectives. And if you ask most of the participants now, okay, what do they do? What is it? What do you expect them to do? And that's one problem with, I'm not a scholarly person, I mean, with all due respect, but when you give too much theory, with all due respect, theory is good, but sometimes it leaves you with, okay, what are they talking about? I believe most of the participants here will agree with me. What is it? So from distilling what Dr. Pantami, Professor Pantami has said, and Akilu have mentioned, most people will be thinking that digital agric means vertical farming or soilless farming or hydroponics. That is the majority of the discussion. It's still towards that. While if you understand what they meant properly, digital agri, it's not rocket science. It means the convergence of digital tools in agriculture using, technologies. And when you say technologies, I don't want us to have the impression that it's basically soft technology, as in softwares, drones, AI, and other stuff that are trending now. Technologies could also mean hardwares like harvester machines, tractors, and a lot of other innovations that will all its participate to make the smallholder farmer or the large-scale farmer produce more. That is the whole essence of bringing convergence of technology and making it easier for people to produce more food. And because we are living in an era of great happenings, like the professor said, fourth industrial revolution, and so on and so forth, a lot of tools are being used to make it easier for farmers around the value chain to produce more food. That's the whole essence. And in order not to confuse what the professor and doctor meant by digital agri to mean vertical, vertical farming simply means farming vertically as against horizontally, as in done, it's done in a lot of countries. And I'll get into that a little bit later because there's a reason for all these things. Soilless farming or agroponics is also a system of farming that involves not using traditional soil that we are planting seed in the soil by using nutrient-based water, and then you are doing it without soil. Like Professor Pantami mentioned, we are facing challenges: global population increase, depletion in areas of farming, and so on and so forth. I will do a 360-degree opposite direction and give you a practical feel. I'm a practical farmer. I've been in agri for over 20 years, and I've been converging with technologies for over 15 years in agriculture. For some of you that have followed my history, we pioneered the livestock, the convergence of technology in livestock. I founded and I led livestock247.com. Google it. It's Nigeria's largest online livestock platform. They're still doing great things there. I was a co-founder and I led the team that built Africa's first animal identification system. And I moved on to start Rice Africa as a platform that will bring in technology to interface with the happenings of smallholder farmers. So what I want to explain here, for those that think digital agri means vertical farming or soilless farming, and for those that think when you say digital, it means we are doing away with traditional farming, no. Each area in the world has its own peculiarity. And the reason why countries go for vertical farming is because of lack of space, like Holland, that like the professor likes mentioning about. Holland, like he said, has 17 million people. Holland, like the professor mentioned, I'll just even add him, 2023, they exported goods worth 123.8 billion euros. If you check out the statistics of the Minister of Agri in Holland and Statistica, they exported goods 122 billion euros. The inflow, the revenue, meaning the inflow that they got from that export, was over 50 billion euros in 2022, a year before that. But what are the main products that was exported that constituted this 123? The top 3 products that Holland exported that constituted 123 billion euros. Number 1 is milk and egg. Number 2, vegetable and horticulture. Number 3 is meat. So when you're talking about vertical farming or horizontal farming or soilless farming, as in digital farming, don't lose the fact that Holland's expertise in vertical and soilless farming stems from the fact that they don't have the space, they don't have the land mass to do what ordinarily. And at the same time, it is also influenced by their culture of food. I was at The Hague some couple of years ago. I was looking for something to eat. I moved around the entire city looking for something to eat. And with a little bit taste that I couldn't get anything. They survive basically on what we eat differently from here. So when you juxtapose that with what we're doing in Nigeria, we eat basically rice, maize, wheat. If you Google the top 3 staples being consumed in Africa, is maize, rice, wheat in this order. And I'm telling you, there's no way now. Science has not proven that. We've gone through a lot of research around the continent. SARS has not proven that you can produce rice in large quantity, maize in large quantity through vertical farming or soilless farming. It is not possible. So before you get into thinking that doing away with digital farming meant doing away with traditional farming, understand that your population, Nigeria is a country of 213 million people based on the statistics of 2021. Our type of culture is different from what they're doing in Holland. Holland's business is based on lack of space and their culture. Holland and Singapore have this similarity, lack of space. If you go to Singapore, they have a lot of vertical farming, urban farming. People are doing farming based on the vertical level because they don't have the space. There's also another reason why people go for vertical or soilless farming. Population explosion, like in China. Their population has gone above what their land can produce. So they are investing more into vertical farming or soilless farming to augment for the population. Number 3 is the issue of old age, like in Japan and South Korea. They have a lot of old people and young people are not interested in agri. So they are using digital tools to attract the younger ones to come into agri. I'm saying this so that our younger ones will not think that digital agri means we are going to do away with large. As long as you are in Nigeria, as long as you are eating rice, and beans and doya, and you're doing biscuit, and you're eating brabusco, and you're eating tuwon masara, we have to invest more in the traditional. But I'm not saying we shouldn't improve on that. Now, back to the issue of digital agri. When you're talking about digital agri as in improving what our smallholder farmers are doing, you have to first of all know and understand what are their challenges. What is the challenge of the typical smallholder farmer in Nigeria? We also need to understand that 63%, the professor gave a lot of statistics regarding global landmass. 63% of the uncultivated arable land in this world is in Africa. 63% of the, some are even saying 65, 63 to 65% of the uncultivated arable land in the world is in Africa. Yet Africa imports over $100 billion of food every year. This is irresponsible. It is highly unthinkable. So if you come to the Nigerian context, Nigeria has almost about 80-something million hectares. We have almost 53 million hectares that are arable. Out of that, we are just cultivating around 30-something million hectares before the insecurity crisis. So this is to tell you that in as much as the end thing is to talk about vertical farming, to talk about greenhouse farming and all these things, we still have land. I'm a practical farmer. We still farm on hundreds of hectares of land in Nigeria, irrespective of the insecurity that we have. There are countless of communities that have arable abundant lands that people are not cultivating. But you need to look at what are the challenges. Instead of talking about challenges of digital agri, I'm going to give you challenges that are facing smallholder farmers. Mind you, smallholder farmers feed 80% of the food that we eat in Africa comes from the smallholder farmer. And there's absolutely nothing you can do about that. Up till date, 80% of the food we eat comes from smallholder farmer. So what are the challenges? Why is the problem we're facing? Why Africa is facing the hunger crisis is not the issue of land. It's not the issue of lack of technology. It's not the issue of environment. All these are externalities. If you Google why is Africa going through hunger, you will see environmental issues, you will see insecurity, you will see the Russian-Ukraine crisis, you will see COVID-19. These are all externalities. Why are we calling them externalities? If there was no COVID, there was no Ukraine crisis, there was no environmental challenges, would the farmer in Lere, in Kaduna State, a maize farmer, will he be able to produce 5 tons of maize per hectare? No. Will he be able to produce, will the rice farmer in Bunkure in Kano State, will he be able to produce 10 tons per hectare of rice? No. But why is the farmer in Zimbabwe or in South Africa doing 14 tons per hectare of maize in the same continent? Why is the farmer in Zimbabwe doing 10 tons per hectare in the same continent? Why is the farmer in Mbeya in Tanzania doing 8 tons per hectare of rice in the same continent? So we did an in-depth research in partnership with the World Economic Forum. This is what we do as a company. We partner with them. We did a research and we discovered that even though there are environmental challenges like Professor Pantami mentioned, excellent. There are security challenges like we all know, excellent. There's a COVID crisis that we faced 4 years ago, true. But all these are externalities. You have to look inwards. What are the internalities? What are the fundamental reasons why we are facing the food crisis that we're facing today? I'll give you, because of time, straightforward. There are 7 fundamentals that we discovered that are internalities. What we mean by internalities is what this normal scholar like Pantami will call ahamu and muhimu. Ahamu is greater than muhimmi. What are those internalities that are bedeviling our productivity? Because our element is not environmental, our element is not technological, our element is in terms of productivity. So I don't want people to misunderstand what Professor Pantami has been talking about. When you bring in technologies, is to improve the productivity. Our element is seriously that of underproduction. Number one, there are 7 things that if you want to improve the productivity of a farmer anywhere in the world, whether it's small scale or base or large scale, and we've been doing that, we've been seeing results. Number one is access to mechanization, which is also technology. It could be also digital. Access to mechanization as in, number one, soil testing. The farmers that we have today go to farm without really testing whether their soil is conducive for maize or rice or guava, or they are supposed to do wheat. They don't know. If you wake up in your village and you are doing wheat farming, or you're doing, that is what you are going to do. This is what you've inherited. So in order to bring context to what Professor Pantami and Dr. Akilu mentioned in bringing technology into this thing, you have to now deploy soil technology into doing, which is also digital, into understanding what is the soil composition of your farm. Knowing the soil composition, also knowing precision agriculture, mapping your farm. Most of the farmers don't even know the size. You cannot manage what you have not measured. So if you measured your farm, most of them will tell you my farm is 1 acre. They don't even know the difference between acre and hectare. So mechanization in soil testing, mechanization in land preparation. What do I mean by mechanization in land preparation? Mechanization in land preparation means they have to prepare their lands mechanically. Our research has revealed that a farm that has been prepared manually, as Dr. Pantami said, traditional agriculture, we discovered that a farm that has been prepared manually versus the farm that has been prepared mechanically, there's a 50% increase in yield. If you prepare your farm mechanically, you use less water, you use less seed, you use even less time, and it will improve your capacity to do more. Number two, access to seeds. 80-something% of our farmers plant grains, not seed. There's a difference between grains and seed. Time will not allow us to go into that. Most of our farmers, seed is what you plant and you replant. I don't want to go into the controversy of GMOs and all those conspiracy theories going on. But we need to provide our farmers, you bring digital tools to access farmers to get high yielding seeds. Number three, 72% of our farmers in Nigeria, in Africa, in Nigeria especially, most of the chemicals that they use, when we talk about chemicals here, agronomists here will understand between pre-emergence and post-emergence, what our people call marganin peshi. 72% of the chemicals in the market are fake. So when you are bringing digital tools, you can, like Dr. Akilu said, you can aggregate good chemicals, expert advice, give them on how to use, because if you don't understand the relationship between crop and chemicals, good chemicals, take this for instance, it is like you sitting down to eat your plate of tuwon shinkafa and miyan kuka alone, and it is enough for you. And then 10 of your hefty friends descend on you to eat from that plate. The relationship between crop and wheat is like that. When you plant maize, there are crops that come to compete for nutrients. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the way he structured the universe, there are nutrients that come to support that maize. So weeds will come up to be tapping from that wheat. And that is why you have, it's like giving birth to a child that has kwashoko, malnourished. That is why you see our crops are not looking green, because they have competitors. And most of the chemical we use to kill those weeds are fake and substandard. That's number three. Number four, and very importantly, we have to bring digital tools to provide access to our smallholder farmers to access what we call soil and crop specific fertilization. Why do I mean by that? Do you know that the fertilizer that you're supposed to use in Sokoto is not the fertilizer that you're supposed to use in Gombe? A lot of people don't know this. Sokoto has high rate of phosphate in their soil. So when you bring digital tools to do a soil analysis of Sokoto, you see that you have high dose of phosphate. In Gombe and almost all the northeastern states, they have a high dose of potassium. So when you are taking fertilizer to Sokoto, you give them fertilizer that is less of phosphate, more of nitrogen, and more of potassium. When you are taking fertilizer to Gombe, where our distinguished and esteemed professor is from, give them fertilizer that is less of potassium and more of nitrogen and more of phosphate. Most of our farmers don't know this. That is what we call crop and soil specific fertilization. What do I mean by crop specific? The fertilizer composition of chemicals that you produce, blend for fertilizer, for maize, is not the same thing with rice. How many farmers know this? You can bring digital tools and bring this information to farmers. That's number four. Very importantly, and these fertilizers should be on time. As I'm speaking to you, we're about to harvest some of our farms in Nigeria. Farmers just some few weeks ago were distributed fertilizers for the rain-fed season of 2024. That is sheer madness.
Any farmer that is supposed to do farming for rain-fed season, you're supposed to give him inputs in March. We discussed it with government officials. We talked about it on TV. We wrote about it, but they just don't listen. Maybe our professor, who is very close to the government, is here. He can take this access to fertilizer, soil-specific and crop-specific on time. You are giving fertilizers to people in August. What will they do with it? And this has been the system since 1900. This is what our farmers have been going through. So when you give them fertilizer at the end of the season, they don't have anything to do with it except to sell it. So that's number 4. Number 5, best agronomic practices. I love what Dr. Akilu mentioned. Provide an access to give information. You can be an information broker using digital tool. What do we mean by expert best agronomic practices? Most of these farmers do not know anybody. They don't have anybody to tell them what to do. Nobody comes to give them karatun bita. Nobody tells them what to do. They have been farming right from 1900, what their grandparents have told them. Nobody will come and tell them, okay, this is when you're supposed to put your fertilizer. This is when you're supposed to apply this. This is when you're supposed. Nobody even knows that a rice farm, you need like 6 bags of NPK, 4 bags of urea. You need 25 kg of seed. Nobody tells them that. So they need access to best agronomic practices. Number 6 is mechanical harvesting. This is where Gizoke Saka. If you give them number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you don't give them number 6, it is work 0. We started our business in Nigeria with a harvester hiring system. In the last 4 years, between Nigeria and Tanzania, we have harvested almost 6,000 hectares, biiznillah. By the way, we expanded to Tanzania, courtesy of what Dr. Pantami mentioned, Professor Pantami mentioned, Allah Isaka Masad Al-Heri. In 2023, sir, not 2022, we were given the LEAP Award. We got the $150,000 that enabled us to expand from Nigeria to Tanzania. Now we are in Rwanda, we are in Ethiopia, we are about to go into Somaliland. It's courtesy of what happened in LEAP. May Allah reward Professor Pantami abundantly, and may Allah forgive his parents abundantly, and may Allah usher them into Al-Jannah for this intervention that he did for those, for bringing Nigeria into the equation, for bringing digital tools on top of the matter, and that is why we got to be recognized globally. So when we did almost 6,000 hectares of harvesting in 2 countries, we've saved over 16 million kilograms of grains. This is the small company. This 16 million kilograms of grains can feed almost 53 million people in Africa. If we, a small company, could do this, and mind you, harvesting is also part of the digital tools, by bringing digital tools, by creating a digital system where farmers can rent harvesters. So if you don't give them mechanized harvesting, it's a work done 0. Every acre, 1 acre of a rice farm, 1 acre, mind you, 2.5 acres means 1 hectare. 1 acre requires 30 people, 30 people, to work for 24 hours. To harvest 1 acre. Go to Kura, go to Bunkure and see what they're doing. 30 people working for 24 hours. Our machine does that in 30 minutes. And these 30 people working for 24 hours, how many bags of paddy will they get? At maximum, they will get 24 bags. With the machine, in 30 minutes, you can get up to 37 bags. This gives you the importance of digital tools in improving productivity. Lastly, number 7, if you want, bring all these things together to improve the productivity of farmers, give them access to market. Structured market. What we mean by market here, we mean guaranteed uptake. In Europe and America, a farmer goes to the farm knowing that Walmart or Target or McDonald's is going to buy X tons of grains from him. Our farmers are subsistence farmers. They go to farm this year, they farm maize. At the end of the day, maize has crashed in the market. Somebody will come and tell them, soya is very, very important this year. Next year, everybody will go to soya. And there will be growth in the market. Price of soya will crash down, and then somebody will come and tell the guy, then next year, everybody will go into Masara. And that is the cycle we've been doing because we don't have a guaranteed uptake. In Tanzania, where we operate, even in Rwanda, where we operate, you have cooperatives that are working with off-takers that will tell you that we need X tons of this. And when the farmer goes to the field with data, another digital tool, data of knowing that, okay, this is what I need. There's a customer that's going to buy X tons of rice, and I need to cultivate X hectares. I need to apply X fertilizers. If you bring all these things together, I'm assuring you, this is all within the realm of digital, and alhamdulillah, I'm assuring you, it will give you a proper understanding of what Professor Pantami started with and what Dr. Akilu. What I'm just doing is to expatiate so that people will not misunderstand what they're saying. And lastly, you should know that technology is an enabler. Technology is not be all and do all. Technology is an enabler. At Rice Africa, we are using a lot of digital tools. For instance, a lot of people now here have been mentioning about, a lot of people know me, but I don't know them because of our brand presence digitally. Our digital media team post what we're doing. We are using our digital tools. We created what is called, courtesy of Dr. Pantami, from the proceeds of LEAP, we built in-house Farm Easy OS. We built an operating system, just the same way that you have Microsoft operating system, an OS, or you have an iOS. We built a Farm Easy OS that currently the government in Rwanda is partnering with us. That is what the government in Rwanda is going to use to map their farms, to measure farms, to aggregate farmers, to connect farmers with all. These are all digital tools that you can use. For more emphasis, I will call on each and every one of us to embrace digital tools, to understand digital tools, to understand that technology is an enabler, it's not the be all and do all, to also understand agri from the real sense of the word, and may Allah make it easy for us. Subhanakallah wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you, Mr. Ibrahim, for that contribution. I always complain to Dr. Yakub about us bringing people just talking, and then what are we going? What is being done about the challenges? Are we doing anything to see that all the things that have been said are being implemented? So I hope the people in the government, if they come across this, they will find a way to implement all the things that you have said. Our next speaker will be Adam Idris Azare, who is a seasoned agronomist and sales professional with over 15 years of experience in the agricultural sector. He holds a BTech in crop production from Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, Bauchi, where he was recognized as the best student in his department. Adam has worked with notable companies like Nutrient Chemical Industry Limited and MBS Merchant Limited, and currently serves as an area manager at OCP Africa Fertilizer Nigeria Limited. He's particularly passionate about youth participation in agriculture and has played an active role in implementing digital agriculture initiatives across Nigeria. Over to you, Mr. Adam.
Assalamu alaikum. I think the previous speakers have made a lot of justice to this topic. I would like to appreciate our teacher, Professor Ali Ibrahim Pantami, the other speaker, Dr. Akilu, and of course, Ali Ibrahim Maigari, who have all done justice to the topic in question. So the angle that I want to come in this is that when we look at the topic, it says digital agriculture in Nigeria, opportunities and challenges. And when we look at this platform, it's a platform that aims to encourage youth, especially the youths in northern Nigeria, to embrace a lot of things that will bring positive changes to their lives. Digital agriculture, as mentioned earlier, has a lot of opportunities in this regard. When you look at the ICT aspect of it, we have a lot of youths that are into ICT, but probably in most cases, the opportunities in agriculture are not really clear to them, to the extent that you see a lot of companies, a lot of organizations that deal or that develop solutions in agriculture are actually not from the north, while a lot of the agriculture, most of the agricultural activities in Nigeria comes from the north. When you look at this kind of opportunity, so for me, I think it's an opportunity for our youth to look at how they will develop solutions that will bring improvement to agriculture. When you look at things like, there are a lot of applications that you use in terms of marketing of agricultural produce, in terms of producing tools that will bring maybe weather advisory services and the rest. So for our youth to embrace this kind of initiatives, it will go a long way in creating job opportunities for our teeming youth. That's one. And then two, I also agree with the fact that being that we are discussing digital agriculture doesn't mean that this digital agriculture is going to overnight replace what we are doing today. I think I also agree that this is not the case. Our youths should look at agriculture from the aspect of business. The reason, one of the challenges we have in agriculture in Nigeria is that a lot of people see agriculture as just maybe an occupation that is being done by people in rural areas, while agriculture is a very big business all over the world. So if we look at it from that angle, it will go a long way in providing opportunities for the youth who are the target audience in this discussion. So like I said, like also Ali Ibrahim Maigari mentioned, a lot of things that are happening in agriculture relate to the fact that we are not doing things right. For example, I come from the fertilizer industry. I've been in the fertilizer industry for 15 plus years. You find out that a lot of fertilizer that we have in the market is not even genuine fertilizer. So people will put their money, they buy, and then they put it in the farm, and then it will not work. Or we also don't follow the right ways to apply the fertilizer, like the 4 R's of fertilizer application. You need to apply fertilizer at the right rate, the right source, right placement, and right timing. So you need to understand what rate of fertilizer you are going to apply for this particular crop. And technology also comes into this because, for example, in precision agriculture, you have tools that will tell you this means for each stand you need 2 grams, for example, of fertilizer, of NPK fertilizer, so that you apply what the crop needs. And also you have tools that will help you to do a lot in terms of climate smart agriculture. We all know that right now we are facing a lot of challenges when it comes to climate change. Maybe 20, 30 years ago, you go to any farmer, that farmer will tell you that rain will start in June, for example, and stop in October. This is no longer the case. We have this year, there's a lot of dry spell in some places at the middle of the season. So by using technology, using digital technology, we'll be able to have correct weather forecast that will enable us to know what kind of crops to plant, when to plant, and then how to also find ways to go around those challenges. So, for example, I was discussing with someone earlier this year. He said his friend invested about 15 million naira in maize farming, and then he lost almost everything because there was a dry spell of about 1 month at the middle of the season. And I was telling him that why would someone invest this kind of money without making provision for supplementary irrigation? Because the reason why you have this is right now you cannot be sure when the rain will even start or when it will stop. But if you have your irrigation facilities, it's easy to do irrigation even within at the middle of the season. So these are some of the things that, for me, if our youth would embrace, it will go a long way in helping the youth to also get employed in that kind of respect. And then also, Ali Ibrahim also mentioned something. When we talk of digital agriculture, most of the things our mind just go, most of the times our mind just go to crop production, ignoring the fact that digital agriculture also applies to livestock production. There are a lot of tools that have been developed that farmers use in their farms to rear their animals, their livestock, in terms of feeding, in terms of health challenges, in terms of productivity of the farm generally. So when we look at those aspects generally, I can say they are gold mines that our youth generally should look at and see how they will come in to help in solving problems while also making fortunes for themselves. Because, for example, when we look at when we look at digital agriculture as a whole, every occupation that human beings do in this world has been transformed digitally almost. But agriculture in most cases is lagging behind because people that are supposed to develop this kind of solutions are not really paying attention to agriculture, especially in our part of the country. So I would like to make this appeal that our youth should look at this to see, especially the ones that are in ICT, to look at how they will develop solutions that will help to solve problems. We have problems all over. And once you identify the problem and see how you are going to come up with with a software, with a tool that will help farmers in solving that kind of problem, it will go a long way. So, for example, the company that I work for today has an application that we call Udongo. And what that application does is like an ecosystem that combines, that brings together all players in the agricultural ecosystem. So a farmer can log into the application, a fertilizer or any other inputs dealer will also log on and display their products. Extension agents would also log in, and also farmers have access to weather forecast, other information that will help them to develop the way they do, improve the way they do their farming. So those kind of tools are everywhere, but they are not majorly known to our farmers. And some of the challenges that we're facing is that our farmers are in rural areas, while those tools are mostly tools that you need some level of awareness to use them. So one of the other things that I will also suggest is that we intensify education, enlighten more and more farmers to adopt digital agriculture, because this is the future and there's no way we will escape it. So while we are doing the traditional, we are also by the side trying to go with the flow, to bring in the digital tools in order to marry the two and improve our productivity. Because we are saying, we just had that farmers in other countries in Africa, South Africa, Zimbabwe and the rest are doing 16, 14 tons of maize per hectare, while we are doing 2-3 tons per hectare. And most of what they do better than us is the education, the knowledge. So they do the farming in such a way that they apply the modern techniques that will help them to improve in what they do, while we are doing mostly farming that we inherited from our grandparents and without even improving it. So in a nutshell, I would like to also call on the government to really do a lot in this part. Because one of the challenges we are having in rural areas today is that I have been to several states where you go to the ADP, that's the Agricultural Development Project or Program, you find out that most of the agricultural extension agents are nearing retirement. And when they retire, in most cases, they are not replaced. So you go to a state that has, a state that has hundreds of thousands of farmers, you find out that they have less than 50 extension agents. And a lot of them are almost retiring, and people are retiring every day, and then they are not replaced. And even in the places where you have the numbers, they are not supported with the right tools to work. You have an extension agent that covers a whole, maybe local government or maybe 10 villages, but it doesn't even have a motorcycle. So how do you expect that kind of person to work? And also, this also brings about the use of the digital technology, because by using digital technology, you will be able to cover a very large area while even staying in one place, by communicating with the people, by getting the information from where you are. So I think that's, for me, that would be the end of what I want to say. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
All right. Thank you very much, Brother Adam, for this remarkable presentation. We really appreciate this submission. Since we are short of time, I think briefly we will invite one farmer who is recommended by our special guest, Professor Pantami. He has really uploaded his contribution to the digital farming. We will invite Brother Akin Alabi to say a word or two on this topic before we invite Professor Rabi Said to give some final remarks. And then if time permits, we can take maybe a few questions, and otherwise maybe we call it a day depending on the schedule of our guests. So Brother Akin, you can please unmute and make some contributions to this topic. I saw your message just now. I think you mentioned that you have a book on digital agriculture also, and you share with some of our participants, specifically 5 participants. So that's really a great gesture. We appreciate that. And we hope maybe we keep in touch afterwards to arrange that. So please, you can unmute and you can on your camera if you like to make your contribution.
Thank you very much. I may not be able to on the camera because I'm in an occasion.
Right,
it was even impromptu that
okay.
Prof. Pantami said you would like to also to have me speak. I've been following the conversation from the inception. My name is Aki Alabi. I'm one of everybody here has spoken amazingly well. From Professor Pantami to my personal brother, leader in the sector. I can call him Professor Maigari now. He's an amazing person that we follow his footsteps within the digital space and also within the agri space. In fact, he has nailed virtually everything on the head. So one thing that he mentioned that is quite critical is that, look, digital agriculture, agri-tech or technology is basically an enabler to the agri sector. So it's basically helps you to reduce the burden of work within the agricultural sector. And he made an example of a work that you could do for a work that 30 men will do in less than 3 hours, with technology. It's completed. That is basically what digital technology, is solving today in the 21st century. And one of the things that personally that I've been doing across the ecosystem is ensuring that young agripreneurs, that is young farmers, young agripreneurs who would like to take up agribusiness as a career, tends to begin to see how to use technology to drive the sector effectively, because that definitely is the future. And that definitely is where we are going in the next, couple of years. And Africa, Nigeria cannot be left behind. It's important that we need to carry our youth along in that conversation so that today we can build an ecosystem that will appreciate technology. If you look at developed countries across the world, either Europe, either America, Canada, there's been use of technology across the entire agricultural ecosystem, either livestock, either crop production, either aquaculture, name it. Technology has been part of an enabling environment to help grow the agri sector effectively. And Nigeria should not be left, behind. And one of the things that I appreciate Professor Pantami, when he was the minister, was when, during NIDA was able to, come up with different programs that would channel digital technology for youth across campuses. That was an amazing project when he was a minister. And definitely we need to have such more programs that would help young minds to see that, look, agriculture is, technology is not just about crop production alone, but again, technology can serve across the entire value chain. And with that, we can achieve food security, food sustainability in our nation. But we must start from somewhere, changing the perspective of young entrepreneurs on what and how technology tools can help, reduce the burden today within the agri ecosystem. And that definitely is a conversation that we need to begin to have right now, and it must not stop. So I want to thank you for giving me the mic to quickly speak. It's an honor, and I want to appreciate your work too. And as I said, yes, I'm going to give 5 free e-copies of my book, The Rise of Digital Agriculture, to just 5 people, just to, further buttress and appreciate the work you're doing within the value chain. Thank you very much for having me. It's an honor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brother Akin. This is a great gesture, really. We appreciate that, and hopefully we'll pick at random for participants, and maybe we'll keep a copy for the AYMP mentors, or rather, maybe you will give a copy extra to the AYMP team, right? All right.
Yes, no problem.
Thank you very much. Having said that, I don't know, Professor Rabia, please, if Professor Rabia is there, maybe you can give 1 or 2 minutes remark.
Hello.
Yes, Prof.
Okay, thank you so much for inviting me to say just a little bit. I have been listening, and because this is not my field, I learned a lot. So for me, it was a learning process, and I want to appreciate Professor Ali Ibrahim Pantami for honoring AYMP and by showing up. I also would like to thank Dr. Ibrahim Maigari Ahmadu for his insightful speech, Aliyu Akilu Barau, then the other speaker, Adam Idris Azare. I thank you all. I learned a lot from all that you have presented. And thank you, Dr. Fauzia, for always being there. And appreciate also Dr. Yakubu Sani Wudu for actually keeping AYMP on its toes. Once we start to slack down and we're about to sleep those off, he would bring up a topic that would actually keep us going. So thank you very much for all that you are doing. I want to thank all the participants for joining us and also having confidence in all that we are doing. And we keep meeting. It's a small world, and as we travel, it's amazing that somebody just comes up. A young man will come up and say that, Prof, I know you from AYMP, and I think all that you have been doing has helped me. I have a scholarship here, and I actually gained that scholarship from the insights of what you are doing. So I keep saying, please keep the flag flying and keep doing. And I pray that Allah rewards us all. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor Rabia. She is our mother. She is the mother of AYMP. She has been very supportive of all we do. Thank you very much, Prof. May Allah increase you in health and wisdom. So I think at this final stage, I would like to, since we are lucky to have Professor Pantami with us, I was expecting him actually to step down, but alhamdulillah, he was able to remain with us despite his tight schedules. So I would like to re-invite him. Having listened to all the previous speakers, maybe he could have 1 or 2 things to add or to summarize as some final words. Prof.
So once again, God, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah's peace, mercy, and blessings be upon you once again. I don't have anything significant to say, but rather to appreciate all the panelists, Dr. Aliyu Akilu, Brother Adam Idris Azare, Brother Ibrahim Maigari Ahmadu, Farmer Akin Alabi, and also the 2 hosts, Dr. Sani Yakubu Wudil and Dr. Fauzia Eya Kasai, and also my elder sister here, Professor Rabiat, and all the participants. Initially, it was my plan to leave the virtual platform after my remarks, but because of the way I enjoy the discussion, then I had to send an apology to the conference to postpone my panel there until after this engagement. So initially I was to leave it, but I couldn't because I enjoy each and every moment we spend together. And it is indeed very encouraging. And I do hope that after this engagement, we are going to have many more digital farmers in Nigeria. And finally, to add 1 point, which I think is very important from what my brother Ibrahim Maigari said, Firstly, I appreciate his kind words for my support to his company while in office, and I am excited to hear that they have expanded their farm to other countries. This has made my day today. And also to Kin Alabi, the farmer, for also appreciating some of our initiatives of providing the enabling environment, particularly what we did in Nigeria while in office is NAFSA, National Adopted Village for Smart Agriculture, in which we train thousands of Nigerians on the digital farming, and some of them have been very successful so far. Mostly, we used to organize training for 140 Nigerians in each and every state we visit, where we provided training, facilities, seed funding for all of them. And finally, my final point is just to remind some of the previous contributors in the panel. When it comes to digital farming and traditional farming, as I said, when you deploy emerging technologies in traditional farming, it is no more traditional farming. Whether it is in forecasting, in prediction, in evaluating the sand, the fertilizer that is relevant, and many more. It is no more a traditional farming, because digital farming should not be on a smaller scale. You can do it in a very big farm, but as long as you deploy technology, even in your preparation, in your planning, in the farm, even in the value chain, the chain supply, even in the chain supply, where do you deploy like blockchain technology or machine learning in predicting maybe rainfall or irrigation. So whenever you deploy technology, it is no more a traditional farming. So traditional farming or digital farming is not just about using the soil-less or the vertical or the urban farming. Even in a very big farm where you deploy technology before, during, and after, by deploying that technology, it becomes part and parcel of digital farming. It is no more a traditional farming. Traditional farming is a kind of farming where there is no any prediction, no forecasting. You only get any fertilizer that comes to you, you take it to the farm, you just apply it without even evaluating what is relevant. So this clarification, I think, is very important. Digital farming is not restricted to soil-less or vertical, but even in a large-scale farm, you need it. That is why even in the Netherlands, they are not doing only vertical farming and soil-less farming. In the Netherlands, because of lack of land, in order to increase their land space, they even partook in land filling, where they increase their own land area by filling the ocean and the sea around in order to increase their land. So this is clarification is very important. When you deploy technology throughout the chain, it is no more a traditional farming is what we used to do in the last 20, 30 years, 40 years, and what we used to do in our local communities today. So as long as you can differentiate the soil, what is applicable, the time to partake in irrigation, and many more, it becomes digital farming. So it is an integration of traditional farming by deploying digital technologies in order to make it very successful. So once again, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prof. So I think because of time, and first of all, we can continue this discussion on our pages. On the Telegram page, people can continue to post their comments and questions. But for the sake of this platform, perhaps we will take only maybe 3 questions from the audience, just for completeness. So I have, please, Dr. Yarima, please can you ask or make your comment quickly in 30 seconds? So if Dr. Yarima is there, please, can you unmute? Else, maybe I will go to the next. Okay. If you're not there, Abdul Karim Nasir, please, can you unmute? And make your Please go direct to the question or comment. Okay, I think he's not there. Muhammad Abdul Karim. Muhammad Abdul Karim, can you ask your question? Okay. So most of the people that have raised their hands are either not there or Abdul Samad Hamisu, can you please unmute and ask your question?
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Ude, for having us, and special thanks to Professor Ali Ibrahim Pantami for all the goodies that we have received from him, and indeed to all the presenters. We did appreciate everything, and it's a wake-up call to all of us. As young Nigerians, we always have hope, and particularly with the Arewa mentorship, a lot of contemporary issues that are left outside our world. Thank you so much for bringing it to our screen and then giving us the opportunity to also participate. I have just one question, which will be central to Dr. Ibrahim Maigari, and I did appreciate his presentation so much that it's more of like a practical exposure or practical build-up to all the insights that we have from all the other speakers. The question is basically, as somebody remotely in northern Nigeria, case of any state, is it possible for somebody to have himself living in somewhere like abroad and then have his own farm, digital farm in northern Nigeria, being under watch? Is it that genuine enough to have somebody watch over your digital farming like we used to have traditional farm, and then you allocate people to look after it, and then a lot of problems do come? How reliable it is to employ somebody to be under care of your digital farm? Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. I think the question is clear. So you directed it to Ibrahim Maigari. I believe this is a general question. So if Ibrahim Maigari is there, please you can answer the question. Else, I think any of our speakers can attempt to answer the question. So Ibrahim Maigari, are you there? I think he is also having.
Yeah, I'm in between joining a board meeting and this, but I got what he said. I've not switched off. He's talking about supervision basically, and he's talking about there's a concept in northern Nigeria called Wawan Kanawa, what traditionally you'll be sending money to your uncles and your cousins in the village in the name of them farming for you, and then they're just maybe cheating you, or what previous I think some entities in Nigeria did a lot of bad things in the name of crowdfunding for agriculture. And when they started all those, we mentioned that you don't try that with agri. Agri is not something that you predict. And that is why I would encourage you, because of time and because I'm in between two meetings, go to our website, riseafrica.com, click on Farm for Me, and then get in touch with the Nigerian team. We are doing Farm for Me in Nigeria, Tanzania, Rwanda at the moment. This is basically what we're doing with Farm for Me. We help people that are interested in agri. We get lands for them. We do an EOP for them. We use our digital tool, which is the Farm Easy operating system, to manage your farm. You'll be getting reports, you'll be getting videos, you'll be getting everything like you're operating the farm yourself. And you can even visit, you have the coordinate of your farm, you have everything digitally. You can send somebody to see your farm, you can see everything. But for more emphasis, please go to riseafrica.com, click on Farm for Me. The Nigerian team will get in touch with you when you fill up the form. For those that are interested in following, I just put on something on the chat. I'm sorry, I have to rush into another meeting. You'll see my LinkedIn profile, and then the website of Rice Africa is there. And any other person that wants to follow me on LinkedIn, and I'm on Facebook, Ibrahim Maigari Ahmadu, straight up. Please, let's keep in touch. I'm Yakub. Please continue doing what you're doing. And assalamu alaikum once again. Bye-bye.
Alaikum wa rahmatullah. Thank you very much for that. So we have Sani Samira. So it's good that we have a lady also interested in this farming issue. Please, can you make your contribution?
I wanted to say you have to choose a lady next, because I saw her.
We are gender sensitive.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Good afternoon, all, depending on where you are in the world. Maybe it's morning though. But I just want to make a contribution. And before that, I would like to appreciate all the mentees that have spoken, the mentors that have spoken on this issue. And points are already noted. But the point I'm trying to make is I have come across a Twitter handle or a Twitter page. I'll have to check to be very sure, but there's somebody on the South teaching something on hydroponics. And I have not seen any sort of that, training in the northern part here. So I'm trying to appeal to the Arewa Youth Mentorship. If there's any way we can come up so that many people want to go into that, want to learn more about it. And it's just something that is coming up as new. So a lot of people do not have knowledge about it. Even myself, I do not have a knowledge on hydroponics. And it's something I would like to touch because it's something that has been touched about while discussing the digital agriculture mechanism. So I think it's a vital point, and it would go a long way to help our youths over here to have a training like that. I wanted to participate, but it's far there on the southern part of the country. And, there are constraints. I can't travel over there to do that. So if there's any way it can be brought to us here, would appreciate and go through with the training. Thank you very much for all you do. Thanks for all the contribution. May Allah reward you all for the effort, for the time, and keep doing what you do. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you.
Assalamu wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much, Samira. And I think this is a very useful comment that Dr. Fauzia, please should not take note of this because it's a suggestion that this hydroponics, maybe we find some experts that will be offering the training either online or maybe physical, depending on the condition and situation assessment. So thank you very much for this. And the comment is well noted. Next, another lady, Hawaii Buddha, please, can you make your comment?
Assalamu alaikum, good afternoon all.
Good afternoon.
Please, my question is regarding the digital agriculture you just have discussion about. Upon all the discussion we had, we have been talking about agriculture, having access to mechanization, seeding, and all these things, funding and whatever. Though we are just youth in our early 20s, if we want to participate, we don't have the capital or the access to seed capital to start with this thing. And also about mentorship, how to start and come up, at least we all said with mentorship we can all grow. So to avoid mistakes, at least somebody that would be, at least if we started, if anybody is interested, at least you have a mentor that will go to directly use what I want to do. I'm from so parts of the country. I'm interested in so thing. I want to do this. How do I start? The seed to find, the fertilizer, whatever, how it will go. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Fauzia, do you have something to say, or we should invite the experts? Maybe Malam Adam, can you answer this? He's talking about mentorship. So he's a mentor.
Yes, I think when Professor was having his discussion earlier, he emphasized the role of mentorship in our personal and professional lives. And this is one of the essence or the main essence of setting up this platform. So there are a lot of people in this forum that would be able to provide that kind of mentorship. Some of us, for example, I have been in the field in agriculture for more than 15 years. And I've been a field person since I started. I've never been an office person. So with the kind of experience someone gathers in this period, I personally will be able to provide some form of mentorship like this. And I'm very sure there are many people that will provide even much more better, mentorship than I will be able to do. And they are on this platform. So for me, it's just for us to.
She also talked
so in terms of funding, Okay, so funding, that's a serious challenge when it comes to agriculture in Nigeria. Our banks, for example, are not providing funding for agriculture. Even if they provide, the interest rate is such that it will be difficult for you to even access and pay back. And also we have issues with insurance. You take loan, you come and invest it, and there's drought, there's flood, there's whatever, or some Fulani cattlemen or whatever destroy your farm. You don't have insurance that will cover for you. So in terms of funding, actually, is a very serious challenge. I cannot say exactly this is where, so there are government sources like the NILSA, which is under the CBN, but we all know accessing these kinds of funding is a serious challenge also. So for the finance aspect, actually, I don't have a clear answer for now. But if I don't know if there's someone that has an answer to this, but for me, actually, I don't.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mal Adam. I think maybe do we still have Dr. Ali with us? Or he is maybe he can attempt some part of the question. Akilu Barau, I think he is maybe okay.
Masu ɗaukar shinkafa ne nake ta nema tun
Next,
a'a.
okay. Do we have Dr. Ali with us?
Yeah. Thank you once again. I
Yes.
was unable to unmute myself initially.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would like to add up to what the last speaker said, Malam Adam, concerning the last question raised. I think it is important that not only the person who asked that question, but every participants here who has interest in digital agriculture to realize that the fact that agriculture has been emphasized here does not mean that the focus of today's presentation is for people solely to go into agricultural production and deploy technology as part of the process, but rather to emphasize on how technologies and the tools of technologies can be deployed to make agricultural production efficient and effective. And since that is the case, then other activities other parts of the agricultural value chain. Remember, I said from the beginning, agricultural value chains start from planning up to recycling of an agricultural product, as the case may be, whether it is crop or animal, and whichever variety it may be. Therefore, as somebody who has interests in going into digital agriculture, it is important you start from the level you are. That is to say, start from the service component of digital agriculture. Now, take for instance, you are from the rural area, and there are farmers here who do not have access to information, and researches have been conducted that have addressed some of the needs of these farmers. You can now go into digital agriculture as a knowledge broker. What is meant by knowledge broker is that you get this information from digital sources. You decipher it into the understanding of the farmers, and you take it to them for a charge. That is one. Two, you can as well go into being a digital connector. Use social media. Search for international organizations or organizations within the country who aggregates farm produce and modify them or take them like that to other countries. Get in touch with them. Go through the digital means. Go to these farmers. Tell them the quality you want. Gather it from them. Pay them at a price appreciable to them. Take it to this company, or facilitate the connection between these buyers and the farmers through digital means and take your commission. When you are able to gather certain amount of funds that is enough to let you engage into production. Then you go into that. So these are opportunities that you should think of exploring first before going into the production part of the chain of the digital agriculture. Thank you. I think this
very much,
is what I
thank you very much, Doctor. I think I wanted to take only 3 questions. I think we have taken almost 4. Maybe I will take the last one now. Please, if you are you Abdul Wahab Lawal, please can you unmute and ask a question?
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. My question is, as a person who wants to start digital agriculture, where can we get the equipment for the digital agriculture? And it will cost like how much?
Okay, thank you. I think this question is good, and I mean, it's straightforward. Ibrahim Maigari will be in position to answer this if you were there, because I think they used to give the equipment, but since he's not there, maybe Mala Adam also can attempt this question.
Yes, sorry, what was the question?
But he was saying, where can they get the equipment if they want to do digital agriculture? How can they get the equipment, and how much, like approximately, would it cost them to have the equipment? In summary, that's
okay. So like it was mentioned earlier, the equipment, when it comes to digital agriculture, you have different sets of equipments. You have the software, which some of them are even free for you to download on your phone and use. And you have the hardware, that's the machines. There are organizations that give those kind of equipments. You can, so there's Malik Ibrahim mentioned that his organization gives harvesters to farmers, where you go onto their platform and request, and then you get it. And I know other handful of organizations also that do that. For example, there's a company called Hello Tractor. What they do is they are like an Uber for tractors. They have a platform where you go, you order for a tractor, and once they have orders around that area, they deploy the tractor to come and work on your farm, be it land preparation, region, whatever work that is going to be done. But I'm not in the field, so I cannot exactly say how much they charge. But I know there are organizations that provide those kind of services where you don't need to spend your money to buy. These are very capital, they're expensive equipments that buying them might not even be possible for you that you're just starting. But there are organizations, like I said, that give that lease those kind of equipment. They will even bring the operator to work on your farm. So like this one that I mentioned, Hello Tractor is one of them. I know we have worked with them on some projects, and they are almost everywhere in northern Nigeria today.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Brother Adam. And I think this brings us to the end of the session for today. For those who have yet to join the Arewa mentorship platforms, Dr. Fauzia has shared the links, and you can always interact through our pages. Dr. Fauzia, do you have some closing remarks before we end the meeting?
No, thank you all for joining.
All right, there's also a survey, I think, by Dr. Najib. They are doing a survey on the state of AI adoption in Nigeria. I have shared also the link on the chat. So please, if you have some time, you can kindly assist him in filling the survey. So thank you very much for joining this meeting, and see you next time in our upcoming session soon, inshallah. Thank you very much.